welcome to episode 148 of Latino Vegano or Latin Vegan. My name is Roger, and then you guys know every week I try to bring some interesting topic, some kind of value to y'all's life from the whole vegan movement in general.
latinoyvegano.com.
Last week I went a little bit into politics. I was talking a little bit of the politics behind the meat industry and how they subsidize meat and all that. So this week, so you haven't listened to that episode before I go into this week's episode, why not check it out? It's really interesting. So this week I wanted to talk a little bit of something different, right? Since I'm actually prepping for a show this year, right? It's been 3 years since the last time I competed, went on stage and competed. For a lot of you guys know, I'm also a professional bodybuilder or a professional athlete from that perspective in the category of classic physique. So for the NFL Federation, which is a natural federation, and I decided that this year I wanted to do a show. So I'm actually in the process of prepping. I haven't picked up a show yet, but I know it's going to be one of the latest shows in the year, so I can be in my best shape. So I started prepping for about 2 months now. Yeah, but I've always been training, so you'll see preparation for training is a little bit different when you go to a show, when it comes down to the way you eat, the way you exercise, pretty much changes in the amount of cardio you do. So you combine those three elements, especially the eating makes a big difference. It allows you to be on your best shape when you get on stage. Now, so with that said, I started thinking, you know what? I want to talk about being fit over 40. And I actually posted a video on my Instagram, and I'll post it on my YouTube channel as well, for the way I was talking about it. And it was a short video, but I decided to create a whole podcast episode just talking mainly about being 40 or being 40 plus, 35. I would say 35 up, and especially because that's when people start saying that you start aging and whatnot. Although you're looking from a different perspective, I think it's when you start peaking, or you peak at your 20-ish, but then your life start making more sense, especially from a male's perspective, right? And I'm hearing some women saying the same too on the latest stage of their age, right? So especially in different areas, but that's a different conversation for a different podcast. However, I wanted to bring it in from a plant-based perspective, and especially from a Latin community perspective, right? How we see that, because a lot of us from the Latin American perspective don't really have a lot of, in some countries, I can't speak for all of them, but in some countries doesn't really have that culture of health, right? It started I think it started to flourish more now. I was listening in Panama, I see more people being active now than, years before. And same way with other different places that I've been. But I wanted to bring it in and talk about this for a little bit. And so I guess as I mentioned, I want to talk about it from a person 35 plus up or 40 plus up, how you can get healthy, you can stay fit during those stage. All right. So first and foremost, let's talk about diet. So let's talk about your eating. As a vegan fitness enthusiastic coach and an athlete, I am a firm believer that a whole food plant-based diet is the way to go. Basically, like, there's no questions asked. Not only is great for your health, but also helps with your weight loss, energy levels, and even prevent chronic disease. So imagine like combining all these different elements of your eating. I know a lot of people, we see a lot of the correlations of far as a lot of the disease with your mind, right? A lot of we've spoken about this in many of the episodes too, but at the same time, if you can combine the element of having a proper eating or way of eating, way of living, and also include the mindset, you can have a really nice optimum health, because you're combining those elements, right? Mind, body, and soul to some extent. So, what does a whole food plant-based diet looks like? Well, it's very simple. We focus mostly eating a variety of fruit, vegetable, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. That's pretty much a whole food plant-based diet looks like, right? I mean, if you maintain yourself eating those basic meal, basic things that I just mentioned, you're not gonna be lacking on nutrients because you can find proteins in a lot of those. So the benefit of a whole food plant-based diet is what we call nutrient dense, which you can find a lot of the nutrients that you need in your body in different in variety of food. So like eating a variety of food allows you to have that fruits and vegetables. So that's the benefit of having a whole food plant based diet. Try to limit what we call processed food, added sugars and unhealthy fats. Start by incorporating more plant based meals into your diet and see how you feel. I would also not only say to incorporate more plant based, but at the same time, you can start if you want to you want to start it gradually. You can pretty much start for a few days of the week, or go out, do a 15-day, 30-day. I would recommend 30-day challenge where you whole eat plant based. You can prep those meals, prepare, see what you want to cook, get some recipes and whatnot. Do all these different things that you need to do to be able to get yourself prepared for that challenge or something around those lines. That way, when you tackle the challenge, you have all the tools that you need. So this is important that you figure that out prior to. But that's a pretty good way to kind of go into it. So now let's segue a little bit into about the exercise, because I spoke about the dieting or the way you eat, right? And then let's talk about exercising. So when we talk about optimum health, I like to talk about exercising, eating, and mental, right? So those three elements for me are crucial. So let's focus now on exercising. So you want to have a combination of cardiovascular exercises. It's important for maintaining your heart and your lungs health. And strength training can help slow down the natural muscle loss that comes with age. So it's great to see that. That's why I like bodybuilding to somehow as a sport, because you can utilize that for maintaining a younger, tighter look, even though when you're getting older, right? And at the same time, it allows you to feel that accomplishments of like developing and looking good and whatnot, even though you're younger age. Weight training kind of tied up your body. Your body looks solid. So I think it's a great way to have incorporated weight training to a lot of training. A lot of people, like let's say women for example, they're scared to touch weights because they feel they're gonna get manly. But let me tell you, that's not usually how it goes. That's not usually really how it is, because touching weights or lifting weights is not gonna make you look like a man. It's actually gonna benefit you for so many ways, and you can literally search this. It's all over places. It's tons of like really good influencers, and not only influencers but also information about this, about how key it is for women's and men's at the same time to lift weight, that it's gonna give you so much benefit. So I will tell women to not be scared about weights, just because it literally allows your body to even look better. Um, yeah, I know that they all say that. Well, I don't want to look like a female bodybuilder. Well, not necessarily. That's like it takes a lot for women and men too, depending on the age, to develop muscle a certain way. So naturally, all right. So it's not something that just by just touching weight you're just gonna be able to do that. But actually, by lifting weight, it's gonna allow you to tone your body, make your body whatever you have to make it look solid, and not still gonna start make the body look more tighter, especially with time. So, because as you age, gravity start creeping in. So, it allows you to kind of maintain that nice, decent, and strong look to some extent, right? Stronger look. So, what should I do? You should aim when you talk about exercising. You should aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity cardio exercise. So that's a good sweet spot right there. Exercise most days of the week, and this can include activities like walking, cycling, or swimming. For example, I do about overall right now for competition, I'm doing about 4 to 5 minutes of cardio every day. What does that imply? Looks like, so I break it down in 10 minutes to 50 minutes depending on the day of warm up. So I count that. So that warm up I use a Stairmaster, which is my favorite. Is my favorite. It's my favorite machine to do cardio. For me, one of the most effective. That biking, and I would include the treadmill, but the treadmill I would include a treadmill with a high incline and a faster speed. If you want to use the if you want to use the treadmill, I like the Stairmaster because I mean I don't know. It's just basically make me burn a lot of calories quickly. So if we're talking about cardio, I would do I will focus on those. So I do 10 minutes of cardio to warm up, 10, 15, depending on the day, like I said. And then I go on my routine, do my workout routine, my heavy lift training or heavy routine, whatever that routine I have for that day. And then at the end, I do cardio again to finish up my workout. So my workouts takes about, if you combine those two, about 2 hours. 2 hours. That's including cardio, but that's me in the case of me being a professional bodybuilder. For someone that is just want to stay in shape, 30 minutes will be a sweet spot. It will be probably a good amount. So I'm doing right now 35 minutes. I just literally increase my cardio from 30 to 35, and if I need to, I might increase it to 40, depending on how I am in time as far as getting ready for a show. But that's from a professional training standpoint. Now, 30 minutes of good cardio um, really makes a big difference. It really makes a big difference, and highly suggest anyone to incorporate any type of cardiovascular. Another thing that on activity I like doing, I like to do biking. So I do biking as a cardio as well, even though I'm cruising around. But I do as a cardio activity. Don't forget to about strength training. Like I said, aim to do a resistance exercise at least twice a week. Focus on those small and major muscle groups. If you are not sure when to start, you can always work with a personal trainer who can create and customize a workout plan for you. So I help clients, but if I've had clients online, I help clients in person as well. But also, you got folks that there's personal trainers all over places where you go, ask them questions, go to a local gym, check out somebody that you're familiar with. When you find a training, I would suggest to find a training that you see him or her kind of like the way you would like to look like, and at the same time somebody that is like, or at least have the credentials that you can feel comfortable training with, because there's a lot of details that you need to have into account when you go into a fitness, and then you need somebody that has the knowledge in that area before they provide you with some good information. So I would highly suggest to focus on those things when you're finding a trainer. Okay, so let's talk about some additional tips and recommendations for getting fit over 40. So I don't know if we talk about a lot about this, but it's very important to get enough sleep. So from an athlete standpoint, or anyone, it's important that you get enough rest. We always talk in the fitness world that when you're resting is when you actually your muscles are growing, not when you're training. So rest is very, very key, very important. You should aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Is what we recommend. 8 is the sweet spot right there. It's like, okay, that's like, if you do 8, that would be great, consistent basis. I know some of you all do less than that. So it's very, very important that you guys focus on getting enough rest. So this is I can't say enough about how important it is to rest, including for myself. So quality of sleep each night to help your body recover and recharge. So that's why I keep saying, you guys, sleep is very important. Manage stress. You don't know how many people get diseases. They get sick. They get all kind of things because of stress. Stress is a challenge, people. It is. It is a problem. It is a problem. And the key you hear what I'm saying is manage stress. Manage stress means that you have to know how to control or manage your stress. I was having a conversation the other day with someone. Me and her were talking about some of these. I'm not gonna just talk about the entire conversation because this could take the whole podcast. But the one thing I wanted to mention is that I feel that you can manage your stress. You cannot control the outside world, things that happen. Like his economy is going bad, you can't control that. Is this a recession or is a depression or whatever Asian is going out there? You cannot control those things, right? But what you can control, and this was taught to me, is the way you feel about those things. So that you can control. You can control your environment. You cannot control your environment, but you can control yourself. You can control the way you feel about things. And what I mean with it is like, if you find a way to not let outside things affect you or change your mood or control you, then you already win. You won, right? Because by managing that, you allow not to have stress in your life. You allow not to have things change or derail you from your goal. And that's the key. A lot of us let outside things determine the way we feel. Well, if that person say yes, then I'm happy. But if the person says no, then I'm sad. So I'll give you a perfect example. I've been knocking on doors for almost a year and a half now to try to get an establishment to open a business. And it has not been easy for me, right? It's been days that I feel like, you know what, I just wanna quit. Right? But guess what? Quitting is not an option, one. Two, I should not let the outside world or the outside things change the way I feel about my personal goal. And you can apply this into fitness in life. I wanted to take some time and talk about managing stress because it's very important. For me, it's one of the most important things. I know myself that when I'm stressed, I don't do well. I'm not creative. Ideas don't flow very well. I tend to get sick, even though I don't really physically get sick, but I tend to get sick. So a lot of things happen. My body reacts different. So a lot of things happens when I cannot manage my stress. So for me, managing my stress becomes a very, very important part of it. So I want to share this with you guys, and that's why I took a little more time to express about it because I want you guys to understand that chronic stress can wreak havoc on your health and fitness goals. Consider practicing meditation, yoga, and other stress reducing activities helps a lot. Meditating, you can also meditate and then pray. Like you can create a routine around that. I have a routine. I wake up in the morning really early, 4:30. More for the most day, average 4:30, and I meditate. I pray after that, and then after that, I have my moment of for myself, kind of go over my day, what I had going on, and what my day looks like, and what I'm gonna be accomplishing that day. Go do my workout, and then come home, start my day, start working, then do my cardio. So I have more or less like a routine that I follow on a regular basis, and that helps me kind of stay on track. But it's important, you guys, that you manage that stress. And things are coming in. Emails come in with different new, hey, something happened here. I manage property. So see, always something new. Hey, the other day, one of my tenants called me to let me know that a police officer wrecked into one of the mailboxes of that tenant's pants. Now I got another phone call saying that one of the fences fell off on one of the other properties. So you got different things happening. Imagine if I would be stressed about all these things because some of these things means resources, mean time, whatever the time is. But you got to manage it. You manage it, you accomplish it, everything goes well, everything happens and you figure it out. So that's how it is. So hopefully this helps you guys. You want to drink enough water. It's important. Staying hydrated is important to overall health and can help with weight loss and energy level. Stay social. Working out with a friend or joining to a fitness class can make exercise more enjoyable and keep you motivated. For me, I think this one is a very important one because I know a lot of people that don't like to work out. Oh, I hate working out. So I think working out with a buddy is always a good way to kind of get you guys both motivated. You socialize in that moment, at the same time work out. But the key is that it doesn't have to be uh, the gym doesn't have to be a moment just to talk. You can talk a little bit, but you can work out for the most part. So you still have to get your workout done. This is the way I say it. Joining classes is good. Spinning classes, anything classes, is Zumba classes, whatever activity you can get to. It might not be the gym. Your activity could be dancing, or it can be something else. So, like for example, LD dance. I give a shout out to Tadeo and his wife, and they have an academy. They have a dance studio, and they use dancing as a fitness. So if that's your thing, like by all means, man, go for it, because there's an opportunity there to do something that you love doing, which is dancing. To burn a lot of calories by dancing is really it's challenging. So find that activity that is like in your liking, and then go for it. So don't shy away from the opportunity just because you don't like the gym or what it is that you like. And then, but from the other perspective, for example, um, for me being a pro bodybuilder, I have a lot of I have friends that are also in the same thing. So for me, it's great because you get a community, you get support from that community. You can talk to them about it, and they understand. Like we joke and laugh about it because we understand. You can work out with them, so there's a lot of things that you can do because you have those friends, right, in that area. Like I can call Larry, or I can call Jacqueline, or I can call Max, or even Santadeo, or any of my friends that are in the same thing, same world, and then or even just talk to my coach. I mean, whoever, right? So just talk to anyone about it, and then they understand. They understand they're in the same boat that you are, and you can share idea. You can work out together. You can do all the different things, and so on and so forth. And then there's so many that have done it before. So we keep accountable. I'm gonna tell you guys right now that I'm gonna be in my best shape ever. Just not only because I'm a seasoned in the industry, I'm a seasoned veteran now. This is not my first show, but this will be my fourth show, but fourth and fifth show. But at the same time, I have learned so much from other people, from other competitors, from other friends, for looking into just going to shows and looking and learning, that it allows me to implement those into my prepping. So there's a lot of benefit of having a community that you can rely on. You gotta be patient. Remember, getting fit is a journey, not a destination. Celebrate the small victories and keep pushing yourself towards your goal. So, a few other tips that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Don't focus on the nutrition dense food. That's all. We always talk about plant based, right? It's important to ensure that you are eating enough nutrient from your food sources. Choose food that has high in vitamin, minerals, and antioxidants. That's a whole food plant based, such as leafy greens, berry, vegetables, whole grains, and legume. Okay. Two is incorporate protein-rich food. So there's a lot of myth about the protein, especially they saying that you cannot find enough protein in a plant-based diet. And I heard a conversation lately about B12, but and that's for another podcast. But contrary to popular belief, it's entirely possible to meet your protein needs on a plant-based diet. Some great protein sources include tofu, tempeh, seitan, lentil, chickpea, quinoa, and nuts. I mentioned these many times. I have recipe all over places. Oh man, oh man. Now I'm actually hitting a more variety of vegan proteins now than before. Even though I don't really worry too much about protein, to be quite honest with you, especially from the whole food plant based, because since I mentioned that it's a nutrient dense type of lifestyle and diet, you can find proteins in pretty much all food. But if my protein intake needs to up a little bit just because of the prepping purposes, I have no problem. I'm eating a lot of food with high in proteins. Some of them have been processed, and some of them have been more on the healthier side. But I still try to get the amount of protein needed to be able to accomplish my goal with no problem. So you can still do that in the different areas eating a whole food plant based. Eat a variety of colors. Eating a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables not only ensures that you are getting a wide range of nutrients, but it also makes sure your meals more interesting and satisfying. That's true. You want to try to make your stuff more interesting. And for prepping, it stays a little bit more in the consistent side. As far as like, since you have a target number to hit of our macronutrients, I try to keep it the same. I just change here and there. It's okay. Now at that point, food doesn't turn into a luxury for me. It turns into just like, okay, I'm feeling my body enough so I can have energy to I can continue working. But if I wasn't prepping for a show or anything like that, you see my plate more have a variety. Maybe I should share some of what I'm eating as a beginner during my prepping time, so you guys can see a little bit of how that looks like. Yeah, let me know if you would like to know more about it, and I'll definitely could post a video about it, about what I eat for breakfast, especially in the prepping stage, because right now I'm prepping, right? Don't forget about healthy fats. Healthy fats such as those found in nuts, seeds, avocados, and olive are important for brain function, hormone production, and overall health. Just be mindful of portion sizes, of course, as they can are calorie dense. Yes, so trying to keep your fats low. But I like nuts, seeds, walnuts. All the nuts are really good for the most part. Of course, they're high in fat, so you can definitely get your fat from those. And then, yeah, it's definitely satisfying as well, too. Don't try to do too much, because then you can't stop, right? Avoid processed vegan junk food, right? So we all know that. Just because a food is vegan doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy. Many processed vegan foods are high added sugars, unhealthy fat, and sodium. Focus on whole, minimally processed foods as much as possible. So I try to stay away from processed food as much as possible. However, I still would rather do processed food vegan than processed food non-vegan. That's just my personal opinion. At the same time, if you want to eat processed food, try to read the ingredient to see what kind of how's that food. What does it have? Like, you want to look at the ingredients, right? Because you can have a processed food that have like chickpeas and I don't know, broccoli and whatnot, and it has some good clean foods to it versus like something that you can't even pronounce. So look into that. Plan ahead. One of the key success of a plant-based diet is being prepared. Take some time each week to plan out your meals and snacks and make sure that you have healthy options on hand when hunger strikes. So for example, I sort of meal prep since I have my office here at home. It's easy for me to go to the kitchen and prep meals when I need to, so I can make it fresh. However, if I was to go out, travel, or let's say go to a site or visit a client or do some businesses outside for a longer period of time, I will meal prep, right? I will take my containers, whatever that is, and I will plan my meals. In every period of time, 2-3 hours, whatever, I'll take a meal and eat it. I will definitely do that. I will carry on my little bag with all my meals. That's how I will meal prep. However, what I will do is sometimes, like for example, there's a recipe that I shout out to Natalie Matthew. She had a recipe for seitan nuggets. It's a pretty nice recipe, high in protein. So what I do is, like, I will prep that on the weekend so I can have enough for the week, right? So I will make those things during the week, so I have it on containers. I'll classify by serving, so when I need, I just grab it. Oh, I feel to eat this today. I just grab that, warm it up, and eat it. So that's kind of how it works. So I will prep some meals just so I can have enough there. Or one day I'll cook all my broccoli, all my asparagus, or whatever vegetables that I need to prep, and I'll have it in containers in my fridge. So I just grab them, warm it up with something else that I'm making that day. So I kind of do a half and half, depending, just because I'm at home in a lot of the time. Be mindful with your portions. While a plant-based diet can be great for weight loss and overall health, it's still possible to overeat. That's right. But be mindful of your portion sizes and try to listen to your body hungers and fullness cue. That's right. So try to control. So let's talk about mental health. So this is the other portion that I want to talk about. Mental health is just as important as physical health, and there are several ways that a plant-based diet and a regular exercise can help support your mental well-being. 1. Focus on a whole, full, nutrient-dense plant-based diet. A diet rich in a whole plant foods such as fruit, vegetables, and whole grains and legumes has been linked to a better mental health outcome. Those foods are high in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants that support brain functions and help reduce inflammation, which has been linked to depression. Two, include omega-3. Omega-3 fatty acids are essential for brain health and has been linked to lower rates of depression and anxiety. Plant-based sources of omega-3 include flaxseed, chia seed, hemp seed, and walnuts. Prioritize hydration. Drinking enough water is important for both physical and mental health. Hydration can lead to fatigue, headaches, and irritability, which can impact your mental well-being. Aim for at least 8 cups of water per day and more if you are active or live in a hot climate place. Make time. Number 4 is make time for stress reducing activity. Like I mentioned, regular exercise can be a great way to reduce stress and improve mood. Additionally, activities like meditation, yoga, and spending time in nature can help support mental well-being and reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. And the fifth one would be mindful of your alcohol intake. So I would say don't drink alcohol at all, but that's just me. The real world is different, right? I would say alcohol and tobacco products, anything that is on that line. Even smoking. So I will completely stay away from that or be mindful. Let's put it that way. I think that's a fancier word. While the occasional glass of wine, and I see people doing it every now and then, excessive alcohol consumption can have negative impact on mental health. Alcohol is a depressant and can interfere with sleep and mood. So that's what alcohol is. That's why when people see when they drink too much, they start crying. Same way, oh my God. So they're all over the place. And they can't even walk and they can't even function. So I will stay away from alcohol. So stay away from smoking, any type of thing. So all those different things that really kind of it's not really healthy for you, basically, put it in those terms. So how do I want to end this episode? And hopefully you guys can get something out of this episode. It will be helpful for some of you guys and take advantage of it, especially people that are in the 30 plus, almost 40 years old and up, right? This is not just, you just end on 40, right? It doesn't start at 35 and end on 40. If you start at 35, go all the way to the rest of your life from that point on. You want to be able to continue being more mindful of your health because you want to live more years. You're wiser now. You got more experience and life is different for you. You're in a different stage. So you want to be able to take advantage of it from our perspective, not just from the financial perspective, but also from the mental perspective. So getting fit at 40, remember, age is just a number. Yeah, we all know that. And it's never too late to start taking care of your health and fitness. Whether it's through a whole food plant-based diet, regular exercise, or simply making small lifestyle changes, you have the power to improve your well-being and feel your best, even after 40. I will incorporate all of this. Small changes, but incorporate all of this. Start with maybe a couple of days a week doing some exercise. One day of the week is not enough. I would say minimum 3 days. It will be 2 days will be minimum. 2 or 3 days probably will be the best. The best approach. 5 days will be great. That's excellent, right? But 3 days, 4 days, I think that should be a good amount of days for just maintaining an active lifestyle, active routine. Remember to prioritize. Remember to always prioritize whole food, nutrient-dense food, incorporated omega-3s, staying hydrated, engaging stress-reducing activities, and being mindful with alcohol intake and tobacco products. You can help support your mental well-being alongside your physical health. Remember that mental health is just as important as physical health as you embark on your fitness journey. I want to leave you guys with a couple of articles that you guys can read about this. So I got 10 fitness tips for people over 40. You can find that Healthcare Magazine or Healthline.com. Exercise and aging. Can you walk away from Father Time? From the Mayo Clinic, you can find that article as well online. And then the Beginner's Guide to Starting a Plant-Based Diet by ForceOvernight.com is another article that I would like to share with you guys. So you can have some references from what I'm always talking about, where some of this information came from. So Hope you guys like the episode. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Stay fit, stay healthy, and stay vegan. See you guys next time.
Gracias por escuchar Latino y Vegano, un show donde se habla todo lo relacionado sobre el veganismo entre la comunidad latina. No olviden suscribirse a este podcast, seguirnos en Instagram, Facebook, YouTube y a visitarnos en latinoyvegano.com.